Good morning. We're improvising right now. I've got all four of the dogs under my feet. We're going to make some honey hot hummus. Probably should have grabbed that towel over there. I'm Katrin Marie, reside in St. Louis, Missouri, an artist, writer, speaker, life and business coach, published author. I have been wanting to make hummus for the longest time, and it is so expensive in the grocery store. So I thought I would try to recreate what I see in the store. Let me grab this towel. Hold on, don't look at my messy kitchen, because when you have a working kitchen, it is never really clean or organized because you're using it all the time. But I thought I would just, pop on and bring you along. Got to go into the gigs sometime this afternoon. I have to relook at my schedule. It's a little off right now. Normally I go in at 4, but she's got me scheduled in at 3, and I don't know why. Sunday nights are pretty easy. Go in, we have a food runner. I kind of mix and mingle and schmooze with my tables, and then call it a night by 7:30, and I'm home typically by 8:30, which is good. Hummus. The store-bought, it's made with chickpeas, olive oil, and I saw a recipe for the honey hot carrots. Well, I didn't have the honey hot carrots, I had the regular carrots, so I thought, why can't you just add, your honey and your buffalo sauce, your hot sauce, and try to recreate it the way you see it in the store? And it has to be much better for you. I am so concerned about ingredients, and like I've been stating, I'm so concerned about, with winter coming, having that extra weight. I want to be able to kind of stay on the slimmer side this winter and not cocoon so much with my hand in the refrigerator. And I think really the only reason that has kind of occurred, they're changing the menu up at the restaurant, so of course we are always tasting and sampling. It's always easy to put your hand in that French fry bowl, which I am trying desperately out of, not doing. And also when I am cooking and I'm trying new recipes, of course, and you never trust a skinny cook, come on. But anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to take your already pre-cooked canned carrots. We're going to throw it in your food processor. I was counting up this morning how many kitchen apparatuses I have. I have 2 food processors. I have my stand mix over there. I have a hand beater. I have 2 blenders, my can opener. I have an emulsifier, and then I have my whisker for my fancy coffee. A lot of kitchen gadgets. But they're things that you need when you are constantly creating, especially content, but when you are trying to, work on new recipes, you want all those apparatuses. Then I'm going to take some of these beans. I have 4 cans, different kinds of garbanzo chickpeas, and you drain them as best as you possibly can, because you do not want that slime on it. So we're going to do that. We're going to mix that in with that. And we're going to just get that all blended up. Time being, let's see if I can get this to work properly. Let's do that real quick. I was concerned how much this was going to make, and I didn't know how much at a time I wanted to do it, but I wanted to have a good amount, a good quantity. Went out and celebrated my grandkid's birthday yesterday. Anthony is 17. Carmen is 8. Rosa is 4, and then James, who will be 13 in May. So the 3, I have coffee going if you see Steve. The 3 of them celebrate their birthdays at the same time, although their birthdays are about a week apart. And then, but years apart, needless to say, 17, 8, 4. Dogs are running around under my feet. They're a menace right now. Can't keep the one in the yard. The other ones with the cool weather, they're chasing squirrels. Got coyotes back out in my field. Let me add a little bit of olive oil to this, and we'll give it a real quick mix. But yesterday, the oldest, sorry, dropped the lid. Yesterday, the oldest wanted to give me a huge lecture on forgiveness. And most of the time, you know, I can forgive certain things. I never forget, though. Never. My memory's a steel trap. But, as I was trying to explain to the oldest, once you have been betrayed, there is no forgiveness in the situation. There just is not. With me, personally, if you have done something so wrong to me, I draw that line so hard and long, there's no getting through it. And as I have stated before, I have no intentions of fixing something I did not break. So I'm trying to explain to the kid yesterday, you have never been betrayed. You have never been at your lowest when people have come at you. You have never been in situations where people have taken other sides, not even asking you your side of the story. And then, of course, he wants to give me, you know, a bunch of biblical type things, which is very admirable. But once I get to that point, and that betrayal has caused that boundary, there is no going back. There is no forgiveness. They're now just separate lives. Mine, and then whatever you do on the other side of the world, just stay there. There's no reason to come at me for anything anymore. You acted the way you acted, and I acted upon that behavior. Now, is there a set of circumstances that changes? I don't know. I only can speak for myself. And sorry, the tripod's shaking because the dogs are underneath. I can only speak for myself. And as I was trying to explain to him yesterday, you don't know the whole set of circumstances, so you do not get to offer a solution when you don't know how it all came about. Also, with that said, again, it is admirable that he takes a very much a Christian look towards, you know, forgiveness. But I have to be able to hold space in my heart for situations that need to be forgiven. And if there is no space in my heart, then it's not going to be forgiven. Now, can there be misunderstandings? Of course, there's always misunderstandings. It goes back to people who do not know sides of a story, and they want to act, react, speak only with what they're familiar with because they're not open-minded enough to know what that other side is. But like I said, in order for me to forgive or to try to forget, I have to hold space in my heart. And if there is no space in my heart for whomever it was that betrayed me, then there is no forgiveness, and that boundary is still there. But what about you? What is your forgiveness? What is your level of having a boundary and drawing a line, especially if you are feeling attacked or feeling threatened? You know, when I was studying life coaching, trying to understand how people can act a certain way, and it goes back to people who are already hurt and suffering, and they have no conception of what is going on in their own life. It's easy to attack other people to try to make them feel better about their miserable lives. But then you have to decide, can you be forgiving enough knowing that other person was hurt or sick or having their own mental issues, but why do you have to be the one that they take it out on? You know, there is two sides of a coin, and there are two sides of a story. But once you see people's patterns and behaviors, you understand that's just who they are. Especially if those people are angry, if they are jealous, if they are insecure, if they feel you are getting something that they are not getting, like attention, accolades, you know, rewards, awards, you're progressing in your life based on your gift and talent, and they are stuck, it's very easy for them to lash out. And I very much, because of all of my studying, the classes that I taught, you know, I can see both sides, and I know how I choose to draw that line. So, okay, I've put buffalo sauce in, I've put the olive oil in, we're going to give it another let's give this a little taste. Let's see if I can do this. This always gets stuck. Oh, come on, go. Maybe not. Let's do it like that. There we go. Always gets stuck. You know, it goes back to misunderstandings, you know, and I want to kind of tell this story a little bit without really getting into the big details. My dishes are clean. My person that I was involved with on and off for 6 years, I had thought he had had a heart attack in my home, putting in a slop sink. We've been apart now, I don't know, last April was 1 year, so a little over a year and a half. Prior to Easter, a year and a half ago, he was putting in a slop sink in my basement, and I thought he had a heart attack. It was scary. You know, his color went completely gray. He was out of breath. And I had kept saying, now I'm a huge advocate on health because of my own health issues, which, knock on wood, other than crazy allergies right now, and all this dust or whatever is flying in the air. But I was very concerned about his well-being because as a person's partner, person, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, you are to be concerned about their health. And I had said, let's go to the hospital. Let's just go get this all checked out. Well, after all of that, for 2 weeks, he was not feeling good. He really had not felt good since Christmas. And I kept saying, you know, you have all this insurance, why are you not using it? Because logical, you know, all of those that are just hell-bent on having all this insurance, well, if you have it, let's take advantage of it, you know? Especially when your company is paying for it or you have other benefits from another entity. So, long story short, he refuses, just refuses to go to the doctor. And I am just like, oh my God, this man is he's going to die. And I'm going to be beyond distraught because I was concerned about his well-being. Well, as the weeks went on, proceeding up to Easter, I knew he wasn't feeling good. And go, the holidays are coming, we got to do this. I consider Easter a holiday. I had made a huge ham, all these type things. We were supposed to go to one place in the morning, and then we were going to come back to the house and have a family dinner. Because he was not feeling good, and because of his, I won't say unattachment, but because of his avoidance, not wanting to know what the bottom line was on his health, his behavior became totally erratic, which sent me on a real big tizzy. Because here I'm going out of my way to do all these things, trying to keep us as a family, trying to get him to intermingle with his family. Fast forward, we're like bickering all week long. He's working, he's doing his thing after work, not coming here. I'm trying to maintain my anger because I was triggered by him not coming home, which this was home, this is home base, because of other situations, and it just kept building and building and building. So I don't know where I was going or what I was doing, but I was going somewhere and I was getting dressed and he needed to come to pick up some tools. Now, mind you, I knew he had not been feeling good. I knew that there was no way that he was going to be able to go down to the basement to get all the tools. So I thought, to make things easier, I would just grab the tools, I would put them on the porch, make it easier for him to grab the tools off the porch. He could knock on the door, we could have a conversation of what the hell was going on, because that's what you do. You converse with people, especially when you are involved with them. That's what I was saying the other day. You articulate. If you are struggling emotionally, if you are struggling mentally, and this is your person, and they are going out of their way to do something for you, and they're so concerned about your well-being, you have conversations. Well, he didn't knock on the door. He took his tools, and then within a few hours later, because of his abandonment issues or whatever else was going on mentally in his mind, whatever little things that he had of mine, he brought back, and he put them on the porch. Now, does that make me wrong? Does it make me right? Because I was looking out for him so he would not have to trek down the basement to be out of breath, knowing he was not feeling good? And was that fair of him to bring back whatever little bit I had, because he took it as some sign of abandonment? People react and act upon the actions that they feel without thinking rationally. In the long run, who does it hurt? It hurts the person who acted out of impetuousness or out of resentment. It's not even a sign of betrayal. It's a sign of, it's kind of childish, honestly. You couldn't get your way. You couldn't get said what you wanted to hear. So therefore, in order to make something final, because you didn't know how to converse, a line was drawn. Now, it goes back to then on my part, if I didn't break it, why should I fix it? My intentions were very well meant. Now, I can't speak for him. Who knows what was going on? And at this point, I feel I can talk about it because it very much affected the rest of that, the year and a half that came after. In the other situation, me being betrayed, I feel a dog behind me being betrayed on several different levels, somebody attacking me because of whatever their situation, I drew that line. That is my boundary. I will not forgive if you personally attacked me because you were in a situation that was out of your control. Your trigger response because you weren't getting the attention that you need, or because you could not, have said what you needed to hear to fill your issue. Again, you have to hold space in your heart in order to forgive. You have to understand the situation from all points and all levels, and you have to decide, if somebody has betrayed you so bad, why would you let them back in your life? There is no forgiveness. You never forget, because it made such an impact on your life when you were doing nothing but either having a difficult time in your life, you're graveling to keep your head above water, you're trying to maintain your health, you're trying to work on a goal, you're trying to maintain a dream, which nobody gets to take away from you. You own your own bullshit, you're accountable for your own actions, and if you're in a better off position and somebody is struggling, you don't come at them out of animosity. And if you do come at them at animosity, there's no reason why that person would allow you back in their life. But let's test this hummus and let's see, because that's enough life coaching for the time being. And I'll probably make more than this, and I'm going to use some vegetables, some raw carrots. I might make some pita. I've got some tortillas in there. Might need a little more garlic. Let's do that. Let's add some onion powder. That is really good. Oh my God, so healthy. Like I said, I am all about components of health and mental clarity and doing what's right for yourself. I am not an eye for an eye kind of person. There's no reason for that. But I am a person who firmly believes you stand up for what's right for yourself, and you don't let people bulldoze you because they are feeling guilt or shame for their actions. Nor should you feel bad because somebody else doesn't want to take care of their own life, their own health. If you were trying to steer somebody in a very solid, healthy part of life and they resent you, that says more about them and their lack of accountability for self, or they just don't care. But why should you feel bad because you love somebody and you want the best for them and you are being positive, you are showing good affirmations? All right, let's see if I can do this, because we know this gets stuck. What is the deal? There we go. Let's try that. Alrighty. Rinse my spoon off because we don't want to double dip. That was a trick. So, carrots in a can, your brand, whatever you want, some garbanzo beans, drain them really good, you don't want the slime, your garlic, onion powder, your honey, and your buffalo sauce. Put it in your food processor. Let's see if I can get this off. With that. And it costs pennies on the dime compared to what you will pay for when you buy it already made. And I will probably add a little bit more to this so we have it for the next couple days. I will get myself all together, finish this. I will, maintain life as I know how, bringing you along while I have a whole lot of nothing going on. Although if you look at my shorts, I did finish my Grinch painting, which will be a class that I will be teaching. But I am Kendra Marie. I reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I am an artist, a writer, a speaker, life and a business coach, a published author. Bringing you along while the nothing is going on. For today, for tomorrow, be happy, be blessed, create something. Get out all your apparatuses in the kitchen. Get them all out. Use them, utilize them, make something really good, create something that you've seen at the grocery store that you know that you can do better and healthier. For today, for tomorrow, be happy, be blessed, be thankful for everything. Fate turns on a dime. You think about your own forgiveness. You think about your boundaries. You think about who you want back in your life and who you are keeping away because you need to maintain your own clarity, your own mental sanity, and your health. But y'all take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.